This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. As you can see, if you are watching, I have no papers in front of me. I am shuffling nothing. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Get back to that in a second. We're coming at you from 97.7 KCYP, The City, out of McAllen, Texas. Right here, live in the McAllen Creative Incubator. We're also going out on YouTube. We're going out on Facebook. We're going out on TuneIn Radio and Radio Garden apps. Okay? Many ways to watch the show. We really love having you. Back to what I was on. I don't know what I'm on today. Maybe I should be on something. I don't know. But I left all of my notes in my, the bag that Mama Otter bought me for my birthday last year, my iPad that she bought me for. I got all my notes. They're gone. They're gone. We're riding raw tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're riding raw, okay? Whatever that might mean, don't go too far astray with what that might mean. I don't know why I said it that way, but the fact of the matter is I've got a phone. So I have some of the things that I was going to cover. So we're going to have a couple things hopefully happen. One, we're going to have Joe throwing things at me that, is coming to his mind this week. And then also, anyone who's watching right now, please help out, join in in the comments, and we'll have, as usual, a lively and entertaining show. I do have some of the things written down here that I want to cover. But mainly, we're just going to go over things that, there's enough of them in Clown World, right? We've got enough of them. There's no lack. So I'm going to go to the usual. Remembering what I put in my notes, it was probably, let me get the exact, I can do this for gold. Looking at my favorite gold outlet is Texas Precious Metals. So that's texmetals.com, right? So texmetals.com. I want to say it was like 15 something for gold. Here it is. I'm sorry, 25. Yeah, 25.32 for gold, 29.64 for silver. That's 1 ounce each, right? So we will then go to CoinMarketCap for, just to take a look, see at $59,345 for one Bitcoin. Yeah. It's in that range, you know what I mean? So the mortgage rates were somewhere around a little bit, I think it was 5.9 something for a 15-year, if I remember correctly. Anybody want to come up in the comments? Let me know if you got any better take on the exact interest rate. But just remember, it's difficult, ladies and gents. It's difficult. So talking about some of the things that I was going to, that I have on my notes, but crypto first, right? So this is pretty cool. This is, I can't remember which outlet this came from, and I'm not going to be able to cite many of them from memory, but Donald Trump, the people's president, he is going to delve into the DeFi realm. DeFi, for those of you that don't quite, cotton to all the jive in crypto world, DeFi is short for decentralized finance. That means that anybody can get in the game because it's not centralized, which is the exact opposite of the current paradigm, because the banks have centralized all the power so that they are there, ready, willing, and able to rape you anytime you need money. They're there for you and everything that you have. They're there for you, and they're there to basically give you the short shrift, okay? Anytime you need money to capitalize an endeavor, to buy a home, to buy a piece of property, if you're into the business aspects of real estate. So the interesting part of this, and I'm going to get into this a little bit here, because to me it's fascinating, and I think you'll find it also to be fascinating. So Donald Trump is delving into DeFi. But what is, according to this I think it was Bitcoin.com that came out with this. And they'll probably all have it, all the Bitcoin news outlets, right? So he's got a company. I can't remember the name of it. So Donald Trump and I think one of his sons, I don't know if it's Don Jr., I don't know for sure, but they have a company, and they're going to specialize in DeFi, decentralized finance, in regard to digital real estate. Wow. What does that mean, Otter? Well, it can mean a couple things. So digital real estate can mean what I, believe is going to happen in the future, which is a tokenization, just a long word for creating a digital marker or title to a property. Tokenization of any, real world property is sort of like, I mean, it's not a very deep dive to say that it's just like creating a paper title to a property with signatures and, receipts, invoices, all that, right? So all of the information for a certain property, to include owners, past owners, transactions on the property, etc. All of that can be encompassed and locked into securely an NFT, non-fungible token. I believe it's happening already, but not in mass, not in a big way. But that can be one form of the meaning that Donald Trump and his new DeFi company is delving into digital real estate. Here's another form, and this one is just as amazing, in my opinion. Digital real estate will also encompass in the future the ability for a person to buy non-existent real estate. So unreal real estate, if you will. I don't know. See, it's already out there. It's already out there. And let me segue into this. So there are already people out there that are into gaming, right? So as you can imagine, if you're in a video game, you might have a base somewhere. You might have a vehicle. Like let's just pretend that it's a space game. Okay. So you might have a home planet or something, and you might have a spaceship for your supplies that go out into space somewhere. You might have a fleet of war ships, little, the X-Wing fighters in Star Wars or whatever. You might have all this stuff accumulated throughout your time in the game. Okay. Excuse me. Now, what is actually being done now, it's already being done, it's been done for years, is one gamer can sell his account username and password on a particular game to another user, another gamer. Okay. So let's say they've spent a year on game XYZ, whatever it is. They've built up this account. They built up, they got their home planet. They got their warships. They got their supply ships. They got all this infrastructure, right? But it's in the digital space. It doesn't really exist. Yet it took this person a year or more to build this up in game world, whatever the game world is, XYZ game world, whatever. So they will sell this. They'll sell this account to someone else, sometimes for a lot of money. Now, there are actually people out there that specialize in building up in certain games, let's say, again, we'll use the example of a space game, building up a planet, a base. And they'll build it up. They'll build it up some more, and they'll make it very attractive to somebody who's in the game that would love to have something like that, but doesn't want to work for it. They want to pay for it. They don't want to work for it. So they sell off planets, bases, ships that they design in the digital realm. Okay. Now, going back to the DeFi project that the Trumps have, I'm just postulating, I'm guessing here. Okay. Just guessing. So what I think could also be the slant as far as digital real estate could be is in the future when we have people with the goggles on and the VR and all that, you could be able to go to different places in the VR world. So if there is a certain company or a certain project, it could be even a co-op, who knows? But if there's some place that has a game world that is willing to share places of that game world with other enterprising users, they might sell, for instance, real estate. Let's say there's a country in this digital world that has states. And then it's further broken down into counties, into cities and streets. So depending on where they're at and where the business is in that particular country, city, whatever, maybe you, me, or somebody else could buy a block or a house or whatever, a business. And people in the virtual reality world can visit these places. Sounds far-fetched, and perhaps it is, but I'm not going to say that it's not going to happen. It could very well happen. So I'm looking at Sue, Eric, and let's see. Sue says, going bowling after the show. Well, I do like this shirt. I caught that reference. This is a wonderful shirt, and I'm glad you appreciate it. Here, excuse me. Here's the thing about this shirt. Not only does it say, hey, I might go bowling, but it also says that I watched the movie Swingers. So you can go, a couple different directions on that one. But what I would really like to say is I hope you get better, Sue. Sue's been attacked by the Rona. Yeah, that Rona thing's still on. So Lord willing, you and Dad, hi, Dad, you guys will be fine. So I'm seeing there's a couple other people, but I can't see everybody. Thank you for showing up. Again, if you haven't seen the very beginning, I'm missing my notes today. If you can see here, Joe as the consummate professional has not shown the desktop because he wants to protect me from my own incompetence that I have forgotten my notes today at home. So thank you for that, Joe. But now I just screwed the pooch, as it were, and told everybody I forgot my notes. That said, it might require a little bit extra participation from the gallery, and I appreciate the shout out for my shirt, Sue. Thanks. So going back over to the notes that I've hastily made, we have the next crypto news, and it goes right along with cryptocurrency 101, ladies and gents. If you don't have the keys to your wallet, it's not your crypto. Not your keys, not your crypto. What's the latest iteration of this travesty? Binance, right? It's the biggest. To my knowledge, it's the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Now, of course, we're banned from it because of guys like Gary Schmuckatelli Gensler and the SEC. However, Binance is also not a reliable place to store your cryptos. Why would I say that? Am I maligning them? Yes, and they deserve every bit of it. Why do they deserve it? Listen to this. Binance froze accounts of Palestinians, crypto accounts, on orders from Israel. Yeah. They froze the accounts, man, the wallets. They locked up their stuff because Israel doesn't like Palestine. Yes, there was a terrorist attack. And yes, there is an ongoing genocide of Palestinians. It gets better. Maybe I'll go into that later. I mean worse when I say better. But the fact of the matter is, Israel called the Palestinians terrorists and demanded that Binance stop the funding of terrorism. Now, if the Palestinians had any type of power, any type of ability to get out from under the crushing genocide they're currently receiving, then they would be able to say, hey, wait a minute. We're Semites here in Palestine. There is massive amounts of anti-Semitism going on, killing our kids, killing our women, right? I mean, yeah, there's terrorists in Palestine without a doubt. But you're going to start taking the regular people's money? Well, yeah, that's what they're all about, ladies and gents. That is what these people and the people in our government are all about. Okay? If a person or a people group, a nation is without remedy, to them, that's ripe fruit, and they're going to take it. And that's exactly what they're doing. Do not keep your crypto on Binance, on Coinbase, on any. I mean, you can do what you want, right? I'm not a financial advisor, but the fact of the matter is any cryptocurrency exchange can be ruled by terrorists and anti-Semites. People, okay, who are genociding a nation full of Semites like Palestine. What do you think they are? They're anti-Semites, right? Yes, of course. So also, when have you ever heard that a nation who is being oppressed has had the power to obliterate their oppressor? Ladies and gents, if you've ever read history, you'll know that has never happened. But it's happening now. Okay. I digress from crypto there, but it is definitely germane to worldwide news. It's a horrible thing. So Palestinians, they don't have the ability to have any markets in the street because they'll get blown up. They'll get blown up in some sort of barrage, sortie, if you will. They'll be missiled, they'll be droned, they'll be whatever, indiscriminately, along with children and the limbs of children. So Binance froze them. And the Palestinians now, I mean, that were using something like perhaps Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever cryptocurrency they were using. It was the only thing that they were able to use. And the Israelis didn't want to give them even that. If I have time later and it comes to my mind, I'll explain to you some things about the current nation state of Israel and the real, authentic Israel of the Bible. Two different things, very far apart. I'll explain that to you either later, or if you want to hit me up on bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com, I would really, really like the opportunity to basically spell this out to you, to show you, hey, this is why this is the case. This is how I've arrived at this, because I haven't always believed this. I used to be, as a Christian, I used to believe that the current Israel is the Israel of the Bible. No. Yeah, no. So here's another interesting thing. The debate must happen between Cami the Clown. Did I pronounce her name right? Because she's very sensitive about that, about the pronunciation of her name. So Cami the Clown, I think I pronounced that right. She says that she will only do it on ABC. Remember that ABC had a woman or some sort of creature named Donna Brazil, and she gave Hillary Clinton all the questions in the debate prior to the debate with Donald Trump. Now, of course, it didn't work because Donald Trump is much better at debating than almost every communist. So the fact of the matter is, it didn't work. But it lets you know that communist people are on ABC. And Cami the Clown, again, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Cami the Clown wants to and demands the debate being on ABC. There's no coincidence there. So this bit of information is from Jim O'Rourke. Thank you, Jim. He threw me a headline from, I think it was Watcher.guru. And it says, well, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have it in front of me. But the BRICS nations, okay, and guests, potential BRICS nationettes, I don't know, nations that want to grab into this whole thing called BRICS. A total of 126 nations, ladies and gents. 126 nations will meet soon to discuss ditching the US dollar. Wow. Yeah. So, and we'll get into this a little bit later. In fact, I'm going to get into it now because I might forget. It's not in my notes. Banks are not doing well, ladies and gentlemen. Banks are not doing well. In fact, there are hundreds of them on watch lists of, basically risky endeavors, perhaps, some more than others. And there's some big ones. I want to tell you about this. This is what I want to tell you about right now. There's a guy out there. You might have heard of him. His name's Warren Buffett. Yeah, Warren Buffett. What has he been offloading lately? Good indicator of what may be to come. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. No tie on my bowling shirt, Sue. However, Warren Buffett is offloading, and I can't remember the exact numbers. I'm going to use an estimate. Buttloads. Yes. Buttloads of shares of Bank of America stocks. Ladies and gentlemen, if Warren Buffett is getting out of Bank of America, what think you? ought to do? What think you? What might behoove you? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to get out of any banks. I'm not. I'm just here to report the news. I'm using what's called the Socratic method. What would you do? How would you do it if you decided that a bank, any bank, was too risky for you to keep your money in it? We've already gone on the crypto tip and said Binance to me, not telling you, just to me, is way too risky for me to have any crypto on Binance. And I can't because of, communists here in this country. Can't use Binance. I've tried. So that is happening. Oh, Warren Buffett's also dumping Apple shares. What does that tell you? I don't know. You're probably an adult. You're probably intelligent. And if you're watching this, you probably don't watch TV. So you got all that going for you. You make the decision of whether or not you want to keep the stocks that one of the most prominent billionaires in the world is shedding. It's on you. Do what you want because you have your finances and your best interests in mind. This one here from Mike Scherer. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate this. He threw this out. I can't remember where it was coming from. There was one, I think, from the Wall Street Journal. So Mark Zuckermucker Jive Shucker of Facebook fame, okay, I think I pronounced his name right, admits that the Biden-Harris crime team, these are my words, ordered Facebook to censor Americans on COVID content. Well, we knew this, of course. Anybody who tried to recommend a real and true cure for COVID, because there are cures, plural, out there. So if you were to tell anybody, hey, don't die, try taking this. It's been FDA approved for 64 years. If you tried that on Facebook, they shut you down. I'm going to go back. Like that sound effect. I'm going back in the time machine. Okay? We're going back to COVID time. We're going back to the time when they had to press. The pharmaceutical criminals had to press for the emergency use authorization of their poison. So in order to get here in the United States an emergency use authorization for a so-called vaccine, of which it was not and never was pushed. Well, it was pushed as a vaccine, but never was technically a vaccine. It's always been, and they have written this, a gene therapy. Okay? mRNA gene therapy. So all this goes for, and it's not me telling you this. Doctors have told us. Just tune in and listen. That's all you got to do if you're interested. So as they were going for this emergency use authorization, USA, I guess, or something like that, whatever it is, emergency use, EUA, emergency use authorization. Okay. See, I got USA on the mind. Anyway, this emergency use authorization has an act or has a rule, regulation, code, whatever. You can imagine that, right? Imagine all the rules attached to it. Well, one of those rules is that there cannot be a viable alternative treatment, therapy, substance in existence to this Emergency Act product, or else the emergency use authorization will be rescinded. So if anything were to come out to help you with your COVID, to cure you of your COVID, or to even relieve you of your COVID, it would legally, not that they did anything legal in COVID, it would legally obligate the criminally run Food and Drug Administration to pull the emergency use authorization of the so-called misnomered vaccines. So they were unable, okay, to allow any competitor for their poison jabs to be in existence. And they came down hard, fast and furious. And just now, finally, within the last few days, Mark Zuckermucker Jive Shucker of Facebook fame has admitted what we all knew, that he was censoring you and me when we tried to help each other figure out how to help ourselves and our families. Get rid of this lab-grown, Fauci-augmented killer of people. It shouldn't have been this way, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to go down that road again. You've probably heard me rant about the COVID lockdowns and the tyranny and all that many a time. So I'm not going to go there again. But thank you, Mike, for sharing that, because we knew this, yet it always helps to have the criminals admit. Now, I guess going down a little sidebar there, what do you think happened that Mark feels free now? Zuckermucker Jive Shucker feels free to admit this. What happened? If you've got a conspiratorial mind, which I hope you do, you'll understand that he, Mark Zuckerberg, right? He was basically an owned object, an asset to the usual suspects. He was owned by someone. And now he can talk about certain things that he couldn't previously talk about. So did someone purchase him? Free him from his blackmail? I don't know. Very interesting, though. So another one, I think it was a follow-up, Mike, if you're out there, that he sent to me. It was also, I'm losing the thread. I'll come back to it. But there was another facet to that story, and I can't remember exactly what it was. But I'll get back to that if it pops up in my brain. Here's an interesting story. And before I go into the interesting story, we're probably around the halfway mark of our show tonight. And I want to remind you all that you're watching 97.7 FM, KCYP, the city, out of McAllen, Texas. Okay? Sounds like a radio show, Otter. It is. We're on terrestrial radio, man. Yeah. We're live here from the McAllen Creative Incubator. We're also going out on Facebook. We're going out on YouTube. We're going out on TuneIn Radio app and the Radio Garden radio app. Lots of places to catch us. So, the wreath-laying ceremony for Americans. What do you mean, wreath-laying ceremony, Otter? What are you talking about? Well, there was a criminal act, one of many criminal acts done. And they were celebrating, I guess not celebrating, but memorializing the anniversary. The withdrawal of our troops out of Afghanistan, that incompetent and criminal individuals within our government executed, and thereby executing, at the very least, 13 Americans that valiantly fought and lost their lives fighting for others. Not just Americans, they were fighting for other Afghans that were being abandoned by the criminals that own Joe Biden and Cammy the Clown. So there was a wreath-laying ceremony, I guess you could call it. It was a memorial. It was a memorial, and it was an honor and a tribute to those that gave their lives for others. You're wearing an American uniform, right? Military soldiers. Maybe they were Marines. I'm sorry if I forget, but I would imagine there were more than just one branch. There was more than one branch that suffered, more than one family that suffered. So this tribute, this wreath-laying tribute, was, as you can imagine, attended by very important people. Now, the most important people that attended were veterans and their families. And that was it. Yeah, that was it, ladies and gents. At this tribute memorial, there was really only one person other than the veterans and the military entourage that put it all together. One person. Your president. My president. Donald J. Trump. That's it. Nobody else showed up. If anybody did, please let me know. Please let me know. Certainly none of the communist faction, which includes Republicans. If you guys are Republicans out there, you're wrong. No. That party is just one wing of a bird of fecal matter. Donald J. Trump, the people's president, hung that wreath with the help of what looked like a very, I guess we'll use the term, politically correct term, disabled woman or girl. I only briefly saw it. Those things are hard for me to watch. But Donald J. Trump was there. Your president, my president. And that was it. Because it would be politically awkward for any communist to attend, which is good. Who wants a communist memorializing you? Not me. Not by any means. Moving right along to the RFK endorsement of Donald Trump. Yes. Now we knew that as the news lies, and they always lie, the mainstream media is a lying organization owned by communists, run by communists, and they like it that way. So the endorsement by RFK is not, it helps out Donald Trump, sure. But as the mainstream media usual suspects were lying to us, we all knew that RFK's running was really only hurting communists. Because the few libertarians that accepted RFK, because he wasn't radical enough for most of them, weren't going to bring him into problems. It's the people who have woken up to the fact that the so-called Democrat Party has gone way off the tracks to where it used to be for the working man. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it never was. Maybe that was always a myth. But a lot of people think that that's the way it is. Hey, you're a Democrat. You're for the working man. Well, that was shattered, right? But the fact of the matter is that RFK is endorsing Donald Trump, and Donald Trump turns around and says, yeah, we got a place for you in the administration. And what many of us are hoping that place would be is the boss of three-letter agencies. Because many of us who are realists and hunters of truth believe that three-letter agencies were responsible for the death, the murder, the assassination of RFK's dad and his uncle, John F. Kennedy. And wouldn't that be justice? Wouldn't that be something nice? We'll see. We'll keep you posted on that. Oh, no school buses for some Massachusetts kids because migrants. Yeah, I think this is out of the Gateway Pundit. Since there's so many migrant kids that are so, they're needy because their parents cruelly tore them away from their homes, they need buses. So Massachusetts taxpayers, suck it up. Your kids come second because there's migrants out there and they need things more than you. Just because you pay for things, you think you're going to get them? Get out of here. Massachusetts is deep blue, baby. So another thing, Telegram CEO, Pavel, I can't remember. The only Pavel I know is Pavel Bure, the famed hockey player. But this guy named Pavel from Telegram, he's the CEO, inventor. Obviously he's got a lot on the ball. The frogs, Macron el Maricon, arrested him. Yes. Macron el Maricon arrested the CEO of Telegram, ladies and gents. Arrested him. Why? Why would he be arrested? Because he wasn't censoring people in France. Oh, you think that's a little bit excessive? Oh, no, Otter, you're talking about France. It's across an ocean. It's this and that. Wait a minute. We don't have to go across an ocean. We just talked about Mark Zuckermucker, Jive Shucker, with Facebook, telling people, or just not even telling them, just censoring them from legitimate information of COVID. Why? Well, because he was told to censor them. But now we got a guy, this Telegram CEO, he's jailed. He's in jail. Well, I think they released him. But he went to jail because he wouldn't censor people in France. The frogs jailed him. That place is lost, ladies and gentlemen. That place, Macron and his husband. We'll get into something. Well, we might get into that. It was his teacher. It was his teacher at one point when he was like a real young kid. Just horrible and sick. But that's who these people are. So he was arrested. I guess he's released now. But the fact of the matter is, this is coming to our shores, ladies and gentlemen. Sooner or later, it's going to come home to America. And some of you are listening to this show, thankfully, in Mexico. Saludos. Todos en México. Mi familia. Gracias por escuchar. Gracias por ver. Todo eso porque estas noticias son para todos. So, the fact of the matter is that it's coming here. A lot of things are coming here that we're not going to like, ladies and gents. And I don't mean to be a scaremonger, and you know my motto, right? I take it from the Economic Ninja. Great phrase. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Or be prepared, not scared. Whatever, however you want to do it. So, things are coming our way. And again, remember, things could get ugly. I mean, the banks, right? Remember what we just went over with Warren Buffett pulling out of one of the biggest? Bank of America? Yeah. Now, in a clownish effort by a very clownish clown, Zelensky, to start a war. Yes, it was started. Absolutely started by the clown nation of Ukraine. Why do I call it a clown nation? Well, because three-letter agencies overthrew it in 2014. That's why. That's why, in case you're wondering. So the clown nation, and I'm sure there's great people there, a lot less of them now. A whole generation has been wasted. Yes, I'm passionate about this. But I just saw this on Zero Hedge as I was writing these notes down here in studio. From Zero Hedge, a Ukrainian-friendly fire incident occurred where one F-16 pilot shot down another F-16 and the pilot died. Ukrainians shooting down Ukrainians in American F-16s. Ladies and gentlemen, only death will occur from these three-letter agencies that do these color revolutions. They are the authors of them. They are the architects of chaos around the world. Let's hope. Let's pray, as I have been doing, for our nation and for our world, that the evil cabal, call it what you will, the Illuminati, the deep state, the Khazarian mafia, the usual suspects, whatever. And they come in many forms, right? The Club of Rome, Bilderbergs, Trilateral Commission. They're all in the rank and file of Luciferian religious zealots. That's who they are. They have a religion, they have a faith. It's just not the one that you and I have. That's for sure. So, all that to say that we got some things coming, but do not be afraid. Do not be scared. Do not be alarmed, because God is in control. Even if it seems like there is nothing that can control these crazy people, God is indeed in control. And that control of God will not be relinquished until he sends his son, Jesus Christ, to take what is his, which is his kingdom. It's his kingdom, ladies and gents. So, we got a couple comments here. Jim says, you sound like you might have the Rona too. Well, I've been coughing. I got some phlegm going on there, but I'll be okay, Jim. Thank you. Eric says, yeah, he's giving us some advice there. Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to say it. I don't know if they got the AI or whatever. Sue says, If they attended, they would be acknowledging the wrongful acts. Yeah, that's about the wreath laying ceremony or tribute. I know. They would basically be condoning the acts that they did. Jim O'Rourke says that's BS. Absolutely. Mr. Doster Enrique says saludos desde Mexico. Hey, all right, brother. Glad to hear that everything is well. Marcos is watching. It says here, bring them on video. Marcos did you want to come on video? I can do that. I think I can do that. I'm not sure, but we can try if that's it. Oh, another thing, Joe, I don't know if you have it. Is it ready? If not, we could do it next week. The video, I had a video of a woman whose First Amendment rights were trampled, just absolutely smacked. Man, the corrupt enclave of Maricopa County, Arizona. Those sons up. There's a mayor out there, right, who had this woman in front of him at a city council meeting or something that she had been given like 3 minutes to speak in, right? Because you're on the timer if you're a citizen, right? Your God-given right. Now, this is not the government doesn't give us any rights, okay? A list of things that the government has to do for you or you have to do for the government. It's a list of that says the government cannot do to you or take away from you. That's what the Constitution is. That's what the Bill of Rights is. Okay? Please, let us get this straight because the schools just seem to be screwing the pooch on this. Purposely. The Constitution of the United States dictates the borders of the government, tells the government what it cannot do, and tells the government what it must do in regards to laying off of us. So you get these communists like the ones in Maricopa County, okay? And this guy, this tool, was trying to shut this woman up because she wanted to bring to light what corruption was going on in her city government. And she wanted to speak to it. She had sources for the facts that she was going to bring up. She had reasoned and articulated argument on her side, and she was shut down. Not only was she shut down, ladies and gents, she was arrested. This woman didn't lift a finger toward any person. She was using and exercising her God-given rights as an American citizen to freedom of speech. And this communist, in the communist enclave of Maricopa County, Arizona, he had her arrested. She wasn't even doing some things that she could have done under her First Amendment rights, which is insult him, swear at him, anyone else on the on the panel. She didn't do that. She was merely exposing their misdeeds to light. And you see, ladies and gents, criminals, especially communists, can't have exposure to light. The truth is not in them. And they can't abide it. So when we come forward with truth, they come against us with lies and oppression. Again, we just went over this with Mark Zuckerberg, right? He admitted finally that he, was pressured by communists, namely the Biden administration. Communists in France arrested the CEO of Telegram because he wasn't keeping people from telling truth on Telegram. Again, people, this is going to get worse. This is going to get worse. It's not going to be pretty. I believe, this is my true and honest belief. I believe, Maria, good to see you. I believe that at some point these people are going to realize that they cannot beat the president, Donald Trump. They can't do it. A quick little tidbit that you might want to jump on or not, if you like, don't like, whatever. Saludos, Maria. I'm telling you right now, this is my opinion. I believe that Cammie the Clown is not your end result candidate that you're going to be able to vote for in the next election. Now, just the fact that no one, zilch, 0.00 people voted for her to be the candidate for that so-called political party. Just that fact, and it is a fact, not even Democrats can deny that none of them voted for her to be the candidate. None of them. If you are a Democrat, I'm sorry. Two, you have to be honest with yourself. You did not vote for Cammie the Clown. You did not vote for her as a candidate for president. You didn't have that ability. That was taken away from you. That's one thing. The second thing is they're going to replace her just like they replaced Joe. I have no sympathy for Joe, of course, but none of that went by rule of law, by any type of procedure, code, rule, anything. Nothing. And that's what they're going to do to this woman. Now, they might give her a consolation prize or something. Maybe they'll make her president for a couple months. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I believe, this is my belief, I don't think it's going to be her. Who's it going to be? You know it's going to be one of the usual suspects. So you figure it out. I know I have my opinion. Maybe on a different show, I'll let you know. But that's what I believe is going to happen. So we could go on that next week, Joe?
No, we have it.
Oh, you have it? Okay. We're going to bring up a little video here, ladies and gents. This is the woman that I told you about in the Marxist Maricopa County that was summarily disallowed her First Amendment rights. Go ahead, Joe, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, it's uploading.
Okay, so we're uploading this video. And we're going to play this video real quick. We know we're going on an hour. Thank you for sticking around. Those of you who are live, thank you very much. Those of you who are not live and you're watching this afterward, please bear with us. We're going to bring up this video that if you're anything like me, it's going to make you sick. Joe, probably once you get it, start at about the minute 20 range, and we'll only go a few minutes. It's like a 13 or 14, but we won't go nearly that long. I want you to see. It was a videotaped live audience in front of her criminal communist Marxist Maricopa County City Council. I think it was Paradise. No, I can't. Surprise. Some weird name in Maricopa County, and the mayor Hall was his name, I think. Stomped on cruelly with his jackboots the First Amendment rights of an American citizen.
Still uploading.
Okay, we'll forego that one.
We got a
Joe.
message there from Maria Inés.
Oh, saludos. Yes, thank you. Thank you, María, por mirar al show, para vernos en el día de hoy. Gracias. Estamos hablando sobre las cosas, muchas cosas que están pasando por el mundo y en los Estados Unidos, pero México cosas también están pasando allí, ¿no? Muchas cosas. Y quién sabe lo que va a pasar, pero estamos mirando a los que quieren tomar ventaja de nosotros, quieren destruirnos. No vamos a dejar eso pasar. Gracias por ver. Gracias por cualquier comentario que tiene. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for allowing us to put this news out, to put this truth out. I have the feeling that it might not be very much longer that we can do this. If the Telegram CEO is arrested for not crushing information on his site, truthful information, in my opinion, then how far are we from the time when Facebook and YouTube will no longer carry this show? Where are we going to go from there? I'll tell you where we're going to go. We're going to go to Rumble and the newly, revamped Parler is back up. And Donald J. Trump's True Social now has the ability to basically, you throw your video out there like we're doing right now. We can stream online. So I'm going to get into that. As you know, I have a day job, a night job, as it were, full time. Thank God. And because of that, I don't get to do a lot of stuff, but I'm going to need to do this anyway. I'm going to need to get into these alternative venues because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to come out and see you guys in Facebook Landia. But as we have the opportunity, we shall continue until we get shut down. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for all your comments. All of you that come back in and I watch this throughout the week and make comments or drop links or whatever you want to do, I really appreciate that. Thank you for all your likes. Thank you for your attention. I'm not in this for attention other than yours to the oncoming things so that you can prepare yourself, prepare your family for what is to come. Because if you're prepared, you don't need to be scared. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless America.
We'll show the video next time.
And we're going to show the video next time. We're going to have that all tuned up and everything. My apology. We came in late and I don't even have my notes. I don't even have my notes, but you all helped today. Thank you very much for pitching in. Have a great week. We will see you next week. God bless you and yours.
This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so